Everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna play some more Moondrop And Sundew. This time with Chapter 2. If you haven't seen their video already, Moondrop And Sundew is in their Yandere Danes and found on itch.io. And I'll try to put the link, if I remember, of the first chapter in the description. So let's begin. ... Ugh. The sheets underneath me felt unfamiliar, strangely soft and fluffy for some reason. That cannot be the case. My sheets were way too scratchy to feel this comfortable, even when I was just waking up. Where was I? Oh. I slowly sat up in Orion's bed and looked around his room. The small candle flickered as it illuminated the room as best it could. I had almost forgotten I was here, in Orion's cave. Everything that happened yesterday came flooding back. The mountain climb, the deer, the fall, the weird dream, all of it had happened, and here I was, still in one piece, all thanks to Orion. I couldn't believe my townfolk call him a bloodthirsty demon when he was so nice to me. What bloodthirsty demon goes to the great lengths that he did? Not many, unless they've been stalking us already. I mean, sure, I was still really weirded out by the whole being put into an alternate dream dimension that could have killed me thing, but from the way Orion put it, he didn't really have a choice. I should be mad at him if he had no other options. I appreciate the fact that he bothered to help me at all. Besides, a new day gave me opportunities to show my gratitude. I still want to try and become his friend if he would let me. Weirdly, my dreams were also uneventful. There was weird purple soup of no mass of stars, nothing. I wonder if Ryan had anything to do with that. Speaking of Ryan, I wonder when he would help me get home. He did mention that last night. But honestly, I was more curious about how he could get ready for his day in such a dark room. The candle barely did anything to illuminate anything past the bookshelf. I could seriously use some lights in here. He could seriously use some lights in here. Speaking of the devil, there's light. Almost instantly, the candle went out, and a glowing orb of blue light appeared in the air. I only blinked in shock, and just watched as the orb hovered a few feet above me. What in the... Hey, Ryan! The sound of Ryan's voice made me jump a little. I remember him saying something about helping me get back through the tunnels. Ryan, you're actually here? Yeah, I'm still gotta get that magic out of you. The magic out of you before I help you get home. Mind if I come in? Sure you can. It's your room. As Orion entered the room, I could see why he asked. He was in his new clothes. That looked pretty deceived. And despite just waking up, he seemed really tired. I was no stranger to not liking the mornings on occasion, but he seemed a little annoyed. While he was sleeping. I like it. That was his sleepwear. Adorable. Beaded necklace hung on his neck, with bright blue pendant covered in the little moons in the various phases. How did I not notice that yesterday? Maybe he kept it hidden underneath his clothes. Are you doing okay, Orion? Yeah, Ryan. Don't worry about it. Can you give me a second to get dressed? Oh, of course I can. I get up from the bed and head out of the room, watching as he rummaged around in his drawers and pulled out some clothes. Standing in the hallway, waiting for him was a tad awkward. as I had nothing to do with myself. But with how tired he was, I didn't want to bother him, so I just played with the hem of my coat and waited for him to finish up in his room. Thankfully, I didn't have to wait long, as he certainly came out in new clothes and a happy smile on his face. Adorable. I want that hoodie. Hey, Ryan. Sorry about that. I'm ready now. His hair is too short in two short braids, framing his now smiling face. I don't know what it was, but he seemed a lot more chipper than before. Maybe doing his hair was made him happy. Your braids look nice. Oh, you really think so? Yeah, you look nice. Thanks, Ryan. Oh, he's blushing. I like how he turns purple and he blushes. His cheeks heated up as he looked away from me. Crap, did I say something wrong? I didn't mean to be such an idiot. Darn it. I want to pivot. Let's get out of these tunnels. I gotta get home after all. Alright, of course. Follow me. I stuck close to Orion as we walked through the tunnels. Even though they were relatively short, the darkness of my surroundings made me feel a little bit creeped out. Oh, the light still shines. Eventually we made our way to the living room. I was shocked by what I saw, another floating orb, giving off a similar blue light to the one in Ryan's room. What are those floating balls? Oh, those things? They act as my main light source in the daytime. I don't like using fire unless I know it's nighttime. Why is that exactly? That's a question that will be answered as soon as I finish cleansing you. I don't mind answering anything. I just want to make sure you're safe. And well fed. I should make breakfast. Oh, so sweet. Crud. What should I do first? I need to cleanse you, but it'd be better if you weren't on empty stomach. Wait, you probably have a ton of questions about last night. He continued to mutter about what to do under his breath, seeming to forget I was there. I noticed his tail swinging from side to side while his foot tapped the ground. Gods, I didn't realize he would be so anxious about something as small as the order of events. We do things in the morning. But despite that, it was rather endearing, watching him fitter about. I felt like I was seeing who he really was and not the mask I met last night, which is exactly what I wanted. Although I should probably say something before his brain melted out of his ears. Hey, Orion? Huh? How about this? We have breakfast, you answer my questions there, and then you cleanse me of the magic and send me home. I'll have a full stomach, I know more about you, and we can get started on the cleansing right after, so we don't waste any time. Whatever the cleansing meant, I should probably ask about what would entail, since I've never been vetted with moon magic before. Oh, that's a good idea. Great idea, actually. Thanks, Wayne. Yeah, let's do that. It's much faster to get you home that way. I couldn't help but snicker at that. He mentioned getting me home as so much. I'm starting to think he cares more about it than I do. Or he's not going to take us home. That eager to get rid of me, huh? I spoke lightheartedly, expecting him to laugh back, but his face fell so quickly that it made my smile disappear. Wait, I'm sorry, that was not what I meant. I just want to make sure you're home safely. So many people go missing in this mountain, and I want to make sure you're not one of them. I don't want you to think I'm trying to get rid of you, or that your presence here is unwelcome, or that you're being a nuisance. Crud, I look like I'm such an idiot right now. No, you're not. You just care. Rand started to grip onto his tail so tightly I thought he was going to rip it off. I I just wanted to make a little joke, but I didn't realize how nervous he was about bringing me back. Was he really more worried about it than me? He was starting to scratch at the tip of his tail. My heart sank. I didn't mean to make him so anxious. Hey, Ryan? I tried to reach for him, and he flinched away from me. Why did he look kind of scared? It wasn't the right time to wonder about that, though. Ryan was looking more worried by the second. Yes? I'm not offended or anything. I was just trying to make a joke. Really? Yeah. Don't worry about it. Besides, I'm not leaving before I get my questions answered. I'll stay here day and night until I get my questions answered. I have to find out how you made such delicious food somehow, don't I? Oh! If you get out of me, that is. Ryan's anxious face melted away as he burst out into laughter. His giggling was infectious, and I started laughing alongside him. I'll get that pie recipe out of you if it's the last thing I do. You're going to have to try really hard to do that, Ryan. As our laughter died out, Orion looked down at me with a playful look on his eyes, as if he hadn't laughed like that in a while. Thanks, Ryan. Thanks a lot. Don't mention it. No, really, thank you. It means a lot. You're welcome. I love that it's, Adam and brain fart name. They're all sort of the same creator, though. You're welcome? I didn't exactly know what he was thanking me for. I was always down for putting a smile on people's face. It felt like he needed it. Alright, Ryan. I was planning to make bacon and eggs for breakfast. Are you okay with that? That sounds delicious. Great. I'll have breakfast done in a jiffy. Follow me. With a nod, I follow him through the tunnels once again and get to the kitchen. I tried to keep track of each corridor so I could have a vague idea of what led where, but it all went over my head. Thank God Orion knew where he was going, or I would have gone extremely lost. Oh yeah, I would. As we stepped into the kitchen, I noticed the food from yesterday was gone. Most likely put away. Just like the living room and Orion's bedroom, the lanterns were now illuminating a blue light that threw out the kitchen instead of an orange one. Orion seemed really happy about the blue lights. I still couldn't point it away. Feel free to have a seat while I get started on the cooking. I nodded and was about to sit down, but I stopped in my tracks when I saw the utensils, food and pans start floating around. Whoa! They were surrounded in a strange blue glow, with a gentle humming emanating from it. Inside I could see tiny eyes darting around and picking up more utensils as they saw them. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I hurt you or something? I just wanted to make my job a little easier. No, it's just... Look back at the swirling utensils in the air with a sense of wonder. Some of the eyes glare at me of a daring squint. Your magic looks really cool. Whoa, you really think so? Yeah, it looks super pretty. Thank you, Ryan. I'll get back to the cooking. I watched as the items flow around the kitchen for a few more moments in amazement before sitting down at the table. The clink and chatter of the kitchen was a good white noise to listen to as I waited for Ryan to finish with making the food. Surprisingly, I didn't have to wait that long. Here you go, breakfast time. The meal looked even more delicious than the one we had last night. The thick slices of bacon with more meat than fats in three big fried eggs that were covered in seasonings. We just have a couple Yanderes that are good at cooking, then there's some that are horrible at cooking. I'm not naming names on the horrible cook. The smell, the seasonings mix. Okay, most of them know how to cook, other than a few. Not naming any names to say it looks like a golf ball. The smell of the seasonings mixed with the eggs made my mouth water, and my growing stomach was in agreement that I needed to have it now. A glass of orange juice flowed towards the table and landed beside me while Orion took his own seat. I could see bits of pulp right in the drink while the ice cubes click around the glass. Did you squeeze the juice yourself? I usually never see the pulp in the juice I drink at home. Yep, I think it gives the juice a nice texture. You should try it. It tastes really good. Well, unless you want something else. I'm sure I'll like it, Orion. Orion's anxious face shifted into a big wide smile. When he was being really anxious about my sudden reaction to his words, he was incredibly sweet. I never have the patience to juice enough oranges or make a full glass of the stuff. It was a nice gesture. I hope he realized that he didn't need to be so worried about me. Ryan snuck his teeth into his bacon and I followed suit. The combination of eggs and bacon were amazing. The bacon just enough meat to contrast well with the egg whites. And the yolk, which had extra seasonings, was just as tasty. I continued to dig into the food with him. I noticed Ryan's bottom eyes occasionally looking up at me while his main pair were glued to his plate. Maybe he was checking to see if I was really enjoying the food. Or their eyes are just kind of looking at us even though they're not looking at us. Maybe he was checking to see if I was really enjoying the food. We ate together in silence for a few minutes before I remembered my initial goals. Hey, Ryan? Yeah? I was wondering if I could finally ask. I'm gonna go with what's a Moondrop's job. Ryan only raised his eyebrows at me in confusion. My job? What do you mean by that? Well, Nexalians have a oath, right? To protect the world from any light monsters? Well, you're not wrong. My people technically have to do that. But we haven't had to do that in, 5,000 years since ancestral genesis happened. And while Nexalings were relieved from that duty. Or, to put it in a modern term, put on permanent leave. So you got laid off? Ryan laughed in comparison. Yeah, you could put it like that. But as far as I'm aware, Moondrops don't really have to follow the oath. When I was younger, I was told I'd feel a strange desire to destroy any light in my path, and I had to channel that desire into destroying the bad light, but I never really felt that desire. I guess having a piece of the moon in me curbed that urge to destroy things. Don't get me wrong, though, the light still roughly ticks me off. Really picks me off. I can barely tolerate my own fireplace at times. I'm just glad I figured out a way to have the light that can actually help me see without being uncomfortable. It's just my still luck that heat is part of the sun's domain, though. Well, that explains the blue light in the daytime. I don't know how much about light, and neither do anyone else. While I was growing up, it's been debated to be sunlight, peril of the abyss, the afterlife, the hearts of magical sun demons, or none of all of them, or all of them for years. Nobody exactly knew what it was. I didn't expect for Orion to know about it either. His entire resistance was an antithesis to light in general, not just magical verity. Is that why you were so annoyed this morning? I didn't want to mention it, but you seemed really agitated. Oh yeah, sorry about that. Daytime just seriously annoys me. Not even not being in direct sunlight. I'm glad I finished up all my chores, so I don't have to endure much sunlight today. Do you burn up in the sunlight or something? You keep talking like you're a pissed off vampire. Oh no, it's not like that. I'm more resistant to sunlight compared to the next ones I knew. If anything, probably because the part of me that's moon magic. I don't really know how it works, honestly. But I'm not going to complain about being sun resistant. It's just really annoying inconvenience that gives me a headache sometimes. Although honestly, that's something I'm sometimes just as bad. Tell me about it. There's nothing that ticks me off more than getting sick and being stuck in a weird middle ground where I'm sick enough to disturb my normal work day, but well enough to not actually have to go to the doctor for meds. I know, tell me about it. What's a abyss exactly? You mentioned I probably wouldn't know what it is, and your small explanation last night just made me more confused. Oh, yeah, right, the abyss. I'm guessing school didn't teach you a lot about it, huh? I scoffed lightly and rolled my eyes. I couldn't deny that claim. It's not like it could. The understanding to the abyss is as much as our understanding of space. It's to say almost zero. And the ocean. The Cestrals don't let us common folk in on any of your secrets. I don't think you're common folk. Besides, it's not like us Nixlings are told much of anything. At least I wasn't. Anyway, about the abyss. From what I know, your Tarians think the abyss is an alternate dimension only the Cestrals can access, right? Yeah? Right, pretty much. We specifically think only Nixlings and Unamoids could use it. Is there Yandere and Unamoid? That makes sense. Given the abyss is a giant mass of darkness, but that's not completely accurate. Even though Unamoids made us Nixlings, we're the only ones that can properly use the abyss. Use? What does that mean? How can I explain this? We've got like administration access. We got work access. Well, Unamoids can enter and exit the abyss. Nixlings can physically manipulate it. No one really knows why. Apparently, Unamoids scientists are still trying to figure out why they can't use it. Does that make sense? I think so. Not really. It was a lot of information, honestly, but I could grasp it well enough. But if the abyss is a huge mass of darkness, why did the dream I was in have stars? Oh, that's because you were in my section of the abyss. Your section? Yeah. I'm going to be honest, Ryan. I've been using the best for ages. I still don't know how it works. None of my fall Nixons. No either, since none of them even heard of a Moondrop before. But I think the way it works is that because I'm a Moondrop, some of the abyss changed itself to fit me specifically. Usually the abyss is supposed to be full of nothing but shadows and weird light monsters that are trapped in prison there. But my weird corner is full of stars, galaxies like smoke that smells kind of funny, and sometimes I notice my own eyes looking back at me. Although, the abyss doesn't always listen to me. Darn thing has a habit of eating creatures' souls if they're in there too long. Oh, that happened on that one ending. Whoa! That explains why I felt like something was trying to consume me in the dream. And also why I was nervous when you woke up. I thought the abyss ate a piece of your soul or something. Luckily, from what I could see, you just got some Axis moon magic on you. From my spell last night, your soul is completely intact, don't worry. If you see that as good news, that is. If that's good news, I'll hate to see bad news. Ryan lets out a hearty laugh, and I join in. What did you do to me last night? The weird blue dots, the weird static I kept hearing. I want explanation for all of it. Yeah, that'll be kind of good. And how did you heal my broken bones? What magic did you use for that? Right, that. So I did a couple of things. The first thing I did was put your body and soul into the abyss. Your body was too heavy to carry, so wait a second, you put my body and little soul into a weird dimension full of who knows what just because I was too heavy for you? No, well, yes, but it wasn't mainly because of that. You were bleeding out. I needed to give you medical attention as soon as possible. If I drag you up the mountain, with or without magic, I don't think I could have been able to help you. Anything in the abyss is weightless, as long as your soul is there. I thought it would be the best option at the time, given the circumstances. I'm sorry for putting your soul at risk. I really didn't mean for anything to happen to you. I hope you can forgive me. Don't worry, Ryan, I already have. Ryan's tail bumped against the floor in his shock. You do? Of course I do. I really did. My perturbed upon hearing my soul was inside a giant goop of unknown darkness, but I couldn't just ignore the position I was in at the time. I was bleeding out. I could have actually died, and I did ask him for help before I passed out. If his help meant I had to be in the nighttime pit for a few minutes, then so be it. I mean, come on, Orion. I can't exactly ignore the fact that I would have been Wolf Chow if it wasn't for you. But that does explain why my brain couldn't let me ask what I wanted. Oh, there's an easy answer to that. I just put a spell on you that would make you avoid asking me directly. And you tried to. The spell would tell your mind to stop asking about that. As for your bones, I just took your broken shadow, straightened out your legs, and applied some healing balms, and gave you tea that would relieve your any aches. My shadow weaving is a bit rusty, but I was able to fix you up well enough, and thank the moon for that. I sat in my chair and astonished as Orion ate more of his food. Shadow waving was nothing new to me. I knew about people who could do that. But he just described little magic mind control. I knew Naxxons were mysterious creatures, but something like this? I didn't know Naxxons could control other minds. Oh, trust me, that's a Moondrop exclusive feature. At least I'm pretty sure it is. None of the Naxxons I lived with could do things like that. I see. That made me think of what else moondrops could do that normal Nixons couldn't. I wish they did. It would have made puberty a lot less awkward. Trust me, working up a few dozen eyes off your body is not a fun experience. I can imagine it isn't. How long have you been up here? Orion thought about it for a few moments, chewing on the bacon in his mouth before swallowing to answer me. I think about 50 years. My jaw dropped in shock. 50 years? Well, people are saying that the mountain was cursed for 15 years, so yeah. Are you serious? You've been here that long? Yeah, at least I'm pretty sure it was 50 years. I've been counting the moon phases since I got here. Since I don't have access to a normal calendar, it's usually tennis, but it gets the job done. You probably wonder why I lived up here that long, huh? I nodded. That actually was my next question. How do you do it? You look like my age. Well, I think it's because I technically am, in a weird way. Us celestials can live way away, and I mean way longer than you. Tyrians can. Sometimes about being descended from gods has its perks like that. So you're immortal because of the god's blood in you? Not really. Having a long lifespan doesn't mean we can't die. Light or not, we're not bulletproof. So my truck's more bulletproof than you. Good to know. Oh, the jokes, the Tacomas are bulletproof. But trust me, sometimes I wish I was. Right. He had mentioned people trying to hunt him before in Hyluxes. I don't think it was that serious. People shouldn't be shooting at you, Orion. Is it illegal to target your people now? It was Orion's turn to scoff and roll his eyes at me. Come on, Ryan. We both know that's a loose suggestion at best. I sighed lightly. As he shoved more bacon in his mouth, I had that he was right. Are there more of you? More of what exactly? Moondrops, there obviously. You can't be the only one. Orion tapped his chin with his fork as he thought about it. Honestly, Ryan, I don't know. You don't know how? I'm sorry, I just don't know. Usually, I could sense when another Nightling is nearby because we both come from the shadows. But when I go into the abyss, my part of it anyway, I don't feel anyone but me. I'm supposed to be able to sense any other life forms that are in the abyss at any given time, but I don't feel anything. So either I'm one of a kind, or any other moondrop hasn't figured out how to access the abyss yet. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I didn't know a lot about celestials, but I did know that there were a lot of them, enough to inhabit the entire planet at one point. And with a amount of mixed elemental brown in the world, the idea that Orion was the only one that of his kind boggled me. I would have refused to believe it if Orion wasn't telling me this in front of my face. But as much more sad thought suddenly came to mind. Does it feel lonely? Huh? What do you mean? Like, do you feel weird about the fact that you might be the only one of your people to exist? Oh, you're really sweet, Ryan, but don't worry about it. I'm pretty used to being on my own. Being the only moondrop hasn't changed that. Despite his words, he wouldn't look at me, and his smile felt forced. I didn't want to pray, but I could tell he was a sensitive topic. Thanks for answering my question, Ryan. Of course, Ryan. After asking so many questions, I felt both satisfied and dissatisfied. I didn't expect to get so much information from him. Some of the stuff he told me either confirmed or straight up contradicted my previous understandings of how the celestials worked. I feel like scientists all over the world would kill for the chance to know why I did. But I was more worried about Orion. The fact that he's been here on his own for 50 years explained so much in a really sad way. The numerous glances, his anxious about his words. This is about his words. The sudden burst of energy when the conversation is less heavy. His fear that I was up here to hunt him. He hadn't had an actual conversation with anyone in ages. It was no surprise he was a nervous wreck. I doubt he managed to actually talk to anyone that wasn't trying to kill him or wasn't running away screaming. It was possible I was the only person to do that. Not to do that. But how was he all by himself? He kept talking about the night swings he met and talked with them. Where were any of them? Why weren't they around to keep him from being lonely? Where are their night swings? Theirs? Yeah. You can't have only one night swing appear. Where did they go? His expression turned sour and glanced away from me again. That's a complicated story, Ryan. One I were not get into. Were they haunted? I frowned. Why was this the question that he refused to answer after so many? How complicated? I can handle it. It's not like you didn't tell me way crazier things today. It's just complicated, Ryan. Trust me. I'm just the only night-swinging around, okay? His face fell, and he sighed deeply. I wish I wasn't, but it was out. It was out of my hands. I didn't have a choice. Of what? Oh, darn it! I shouldn't have asked him something so personal. I'm sorry, Orion. I should have asked. Don't worry about it, Ryan. I get it. Some things are just better left unsaid. We sat there in an awkward silence, the only noise being the gentle sway of Ryan's tail. I scratched at the table, unsure of what to say until Ryan spoke up. I mean, when you think about it, I kind of have to be the only Nixon up here, don't I? Huh? Why? I mean, think about it. If there are two of me, that means there are two infamous monster demons up here. The monster demons don't really roll off the tongue that well, does it? Touché. One demon is more not ominous, in my opinion. It took a few seconds for me to realize what he was doing, lighting the mood with jokes. The elaboration made me burst out laughing, which Ryan seemed to like. How does that work? Won't two demons mean twice the danger? And twice the trouble? Double trouble? You'd think so, but one demon means it's got a thing going on. A lot of MO that makes it recognizable. Two demons just mean they're unpredictable because, well, there are two of them. Nothing is said about them having to work together. Having to choose between a predictable demon or two chaotic ones is easy, but I know which one I would pick. Just yourself. Which one would you pick? The choice is easy. The obvious picking myself. We both laughed heartily, but the giggling died in my throat when I realized what we were laughing about. He just called himself an it. Like he wasn't a living thing. He kept referring to himself as a demon, like his species didn't have a name. He talked as if he was a person, but a monster. You're not a monster. Instantly put a sour taste in my mouth. I've been calling him a creature or a demon the entire time. He wasn't even denying it. He told me he's been hunted down by people trying to kill him for being a monster, but how could I not connect the dots sooner? God, I was awful. Hey, Ryan, you're done staring into space? Huh? You spaced out for a second there. What, did you run out of jokes to tell? I swallowed the lump in my throat and tried to ignore the sweat in the back of my neck. Ryan? Yeah? Come on, Ryan. just spit it out. I'm sorry for calling you a demon and a creature. Orion's grin visual fell from his face, and he kept staring at me, the odd look of confusion in his eyes. I held my breath and shaky wait for his answer. It's fine, Ryan. I bark out the nonchalant answer. No, it's not. I was being rude. No, trust me, it's fine. It's not the end of the world or anything. Besides, you're just speaking the truth. I'll be weird to try and deny it. The truth, what was that? What did that even mean? But it's not the... Oh, crud, I almost forgot. I have to cleanse you. Can I take your plate? We need to do this as soon as possible. I looked down to see my plate was completely empty. I barely noticed I finished the food. I'm sure you can. Alright. It's like you're not a demon, Orion. I got up from the table so Orion grabbed our dishes and all but tossed them into the sink. They clattered loudly against the metal interior. Be careful, Orion. You don't want to break your stuff. I know, but I can't waste more time with the cleansing. Why? What's wrong? Is the magic spreading or something? No, it's not. It's still the same place, but we don't have to worry about that. But I was so focused on answering your questions I forgot all about the cleansing you. I have to do the cleansing right now if you don't have any lasting damage if I don't want any lasting damage to you. Lasting damage? I know celestial magic was unpredictable, but I didn't expect it to be that crazy. What kind of lasting damage? If we're lucky, we don't need to find out. Here, take your stuff. Ryan quickly snapped his fingers and my backpack appeared in midair, surrounding it in a same blue glow as dishes. I stared in amazement as it flew there, but the glowing disappeared and I quickly caught it before it could fall to the ground. I didn't want my things to get more broken than they probably were. The bag felt warm and dry, as Orion promised it would be. Thanks, Orion. Yeah, don't mention it. But we got to get going now. And don't worry, you don't need to do a thing. I think I'll be able to send you home at the same time. Well, really? Yeah, now follow me. Ryan pushed back into tones and I followed suit, hastily slipping on the straps of my backpack. He seemed to be a lot more hurried to cleanse me than before, despite his reassurance. I couldn't help but wonder if something bad really was happening. But I couldn't see or even feel what it could be. Everything felt normal beyond the inches behind my eyes. Maybe he was just extra paranoid. This probably wasn't something that happened too often, or at all if I was being realistic. We ended up back in the living room. Ryan motioned for me to sit down on the couch as he muttered under his breath. Okay, I need a sample or not. The better question is, should I need one? Maybe it would be easier to send her back if I did, but it could cause a complication with the cleansing. But would it though? Crud, I don't know enough about my powers to know if it would. I figure I should forgo the sample. But what if sending them home without their odds and more problems? I haven't done the transportation spell in a while. What if I do it wrong? Honestly, his little numbers are pretty cute to see, but I did still want to go home. What, Orion? Oh, right, sorry. I'll be going over it for a while. I'm for sure I know how to send you home and get the moon magic out of you. My plan is to take the magic out of you and use this excess magic to send you home. It should be just enough to send you back up without any complications. And if it isn't, I could always add a little more. Although I wouldn't, since I don't know if any traces of my powers would rub off on you in the process. But it should work, don't worry. Although, I need something a little weird for this. Well, what do you need? It can't be that bad. Is my blood? Um, I, um, I, I need a lock of your hair. Okay, it could have been it could still be worse. What? I know, it sounds really weird. I'm sorry, but it's the only way I know how to perform the spell that will send you home. The hair is supposed to be a tie to link you in wherever you want to go. I can normally do it without any hairs, but I don't want to expose you to any more magic, so this is my best option. The hair will disappear as soon as the spell is done, so I won't have it with me or anything, I swear. Likely story. As weird as it sounded, it honestly didn't sound that bad. It sounded like a good way to tie up any loose ends, if he was describing it well. But this plan didn't mention something crucial, at least in my eyes. All the things sound fine, but how will I keep talking to you after this? Huh? What do you mean? I mean, how will I keep in contact with you? I haven't exactly seen a phone around here, so it's not like I can give you my phone number. Orion went quiet for a few moments, standing in stunned silence before speaking again. Oh, you actually want to see me again? Of course I do. I wouldn't have asked if I didn't want to. Well, it seemed the cat was out of the bag, but I wasn't that upset about it. After hearing his story at breakfast and realizing all the nonsense he went through, anytime he met anybody, I wanted to be there for him more than ever. He clearly needed it. Ryan let out a shaky chuckle at my response. Trying to be friends with the monster demon, huh? Bold move. I commend you for that. But you're a cute demon. I frowned at his words. There he goes again, with the demon talk. He shouldn't be calling himself such awful things just for the laughs. Although it did I make it any better by not denying it before? I also call him a demon, but I think he's an adorable demon. I called him a demon or a creature so carelessly because since I met him, I barely remember my words had meaning. I didn't know what made me feel worse, calling him such mean words to his face or him brushing it off like it was nothing. Think him brushing off like it was nothing. You don't really feel like a demon, Orion. Sure, totally. Ryan, I'm being serious. Well, Ryan, if you're really that desperate to keep talking to me, I'll give you a way to do it. There he goes, cutting me off again. Here, take this. Ran took out my hand and placed his hands on top of mine. A faint blue light shone in my covered palm before he pulled away, revealing what it is. A small blue token. A blue coin was now in my hand, illuminating a faint glow that lit up my palms. It felt distantly cold, as if it wasn't touched in a while. What is this thing? It's a spell it gave physical form. When you slip it on into the air, it'll alert me that you want to talk. Since it's got actual mass, it shouldn't attach itself to you like the magic inside you right now. It's a one-time use only thing. Although, be sure to use it when you're sure you actually want to speak. Well, this is amazing, Orion. It looks so beautiful. Oh, don't mention it. You were so stubborn, I just figured. You're incredible. Huh? I was enamored by the physical spell in front of me. I could barely pay attention to him. It wasn't like a rune or glyph caved into the surface. It was something more potent and alive. I could feel Ryan's presence radiating from it, cold but comforting. How could anyone, myself included, think he was a monster when he could do things like this? You're just incredible, Orion. Oh, Ryan, if you think I should be the one telling you that. Oh, huh? I completely interrupted you. I'm so sorry. I hastily shoved the coin in my pocket while shaking my head emphatically. I couldn't believe I got distracted by a magic nickel. God, I was just completely missed what you were saying. I'm really sorry. But what were you saying before? Uh, that you had to flip the coin in order to get my attention. Just flip it into there, and it'll single me easy peasy. And be sure to do it in a place where nobody else can see me. We wouldn't want a confrontation with any strangers. Sounds simple enough. Although I wouldn't be surprised if I found a way to mess up tossing a coin. Oh, I would. Good. Now that you know what to do, let's get you home. Just, give me your lock of your hair or whenever you're ready. He seemed a lot more anxious than a few seconds ago, but I couldn't blame him. Having to use someone's hair for a magic spell was exactly an easy thing to ask for. I reached up my head and yanked out a few hairs from my noggin before handing it to Orion. Thank you. Thanks, this'll be more than enough. Now, I should warn you, once I start the spell, you're going to poof out of here quickly. I mean, really quickly. So you might end up with some stomach pains when you get to their side. And you need to think of a place you want to go the entire time, so the link will actually have a place to, well, link up with. Try not to think about any other place. It's shaking the shaking the link, and don't want you ending up on their side of the planet or something. Yeah, what happens if I think of some places on their side of the planet the entire time? It's like, Japan, here I come. Ah, good one, Ryan. My attempt at humor died out of my throat when I realized he was, in fact, not joking. Oh, only think about my house, got it? Yes, oh yeah. Okay, are you ready? Ready as I'll ever be, I guess. Very well, then now brace yourself. Orion brought the lock of hair close to his chest, keeping them flowing in his palms. His face scrunched into a look of severe concentration and precision as he kept focus on the spell. Although instantly I could feel something in the back of my head begin to tug, the itchy feeling in my eyes increased, and I groaned softly in annoyance. Don't worry, this is normal. The magic is just a little bit stubborn. The tugging feeling persisted. I tried to stay myself, or whoever was tugging at me, to yank me along with it. I gripped the couch underneath me, so tight I thought I almost ripped the cloth apart before. Whoever was tugging at me finally broke free, and my eyes no longer felt itchy. Looking at Orion showed that he held more magic in his hands, presumably the amount that was inside my head. Whoa, that was a lot. How did I not notice that inside me? Kinda looks like DNA right there. Keep your mind focused on your home now, Ryan. I'm going to try to send you back. Oh, well, got it. I mentally envisioned my bedroom in my house, small, cramped, but enough for me to call home. It was easy to think about, but everything going on around me was just so fascinating. The air in the room became so cold, although I could see my breath. The room itself was covered in the glow of his magic, and Orion's eyes looked like they were growing brighter and brighter with each passing second. I did my best to keep my mind off my bedroom, but seeing the magic surrounding Orion was a spectacle to behold. I hope you're ready, Ryan. Crap, my bedroom. Come on, think about the one dent at the end of the hall that my landlord won't fix. Let's think about his room. Moon, above. I hope this works. Transport. Immediately everything went blank. It was silent darkness before I felt something pull me in. And I don't think I was in our room. I felt myself land on something soft. I didn't dare open my eyes, lest my hopes be dashed. I felt the covers underneath me to cover them instead. Stiff and uncomfortable. Could it really be? I swayed over my eyes to see wooden walls of my attic bedroom. although I couldn't believe it. It was actually my room. The crates with my stuff in it, the old desk where I use my laptop, the shelves with some spare boxes full of treasured items. I looked up at the ceiling window, squinting at the light streaming into the room. The rays were a nice breath of warmth against my cold skin, although being without sunlight for an entire day made me realize how much I missed it. Although I bet Orion couldn't share the same sentiment, I smiled at the thought of him hissing at the sun's rays like a disgruntled bat or a cat. It was a cat. Reaching into my pocket, I felt over the magic coin with my fingers. Despite being in there for a while, the coin remained safe, as cold as ever. I guess that was moon magic for you. I gently tossed my backpack into the end of the room and sighed in relief. I was so happy to see the dingy walls again. I kind of like his house. I want to be in the cave again. Hopefully I would be able to actually use the coin to call Orion later. But who knows how much I missed. My job probably called me in. Family might have tried to call me. My blog might have gotten a few notifications as well. But did I really want to worry about that right now? I haven't showered or even gone to the bathroom yet. Not to mention my phone definitely needs a recharge. And God, I was so tired. Ryan failed to mention that the journey would make me feel like I ran 10 marathons. What should I do first? Ryan? I slowly closed my eyes immediately. A shot open hearing my last name being called. I shoot up from my bed as I hear the door start to open. It's like neighbor or landlord? Oh, and in comes Delia, my landlord and old college friend. I forgot she was probably be home when I came back. What the heck, Ryan? Ryan, where have you been? The sound of my last name Ellen. The sound of my last name being shouted from her lips was a bit of shock, but it was less of the discipline thing and more of a cultural thing for her. No matter how many times I told her Ryan was fine, she insisted on Ellen. Despite her harsh tone, I knew she was just worried about me. Sure, it was probably because rent was in a week and she needed my income, but I was missing for more a day. I did think that only ones who would notice me gone would be her. Why, Ellen, obviously. Why, Ellen, seriously, where did you go? Should I tell her about my little adventure? It's not like she asked me about it when I left, but she could actually be worried. I was gone for a while. I just went up to the mountain. I'm fine. She stared at me as if I grew a second head. Fine? Are you serious? You climbed up a dangerous mountain full of weird crap, and you think you're fine? Yeah, I'm fine. It's not like I broke my leg and arm and got healed by a demon. I looked down at my body and gestured to myself. I'm not exactly horribly mangled here, Delilah. Yeah. She saw me there at night, though. I don't care about that, Ellen. The cops were looking for you. That woke me up real quick. Wait, what? Some bus driver came to the police station and said you had gone up to the Creepy Mountain and haven't come back down. The police came to the house yesterday and asked about you. My jaw dropped. Ronnie? He seriously went to the police about it? I don't know he was that worried about me. He's our friend. Of course he's worried about us. We're his number one moneymaker. I had to... Okay, we're the one person who does the buzz, right? I had to get up after 10 and answer questions for the last hour. Thanks for that, by the way. I went to glance away from her. I didn't mean to disturb her evening, but How was I supposed to know the cops would come knocking at her door so late? But since the police supposed to do But isn't the police supposed to do that in case the missing person came back from wherever they went? I didn't want to mention that to Delia, though at least she'd get even more angry. She definitely makes angry. I was told that if you come back here to call up the station and let them know. But I'm not doing that for those pricks. So head down to the station, get some point at some point today, so they don't interrupt me again, alright? But I haven't even showered yet. Then go shower. I don't care about what you get when you get to the station. Just get there. And don't come back until you sort this crap out, okay? I don't want to be bothered anymore. Any more officers at night. Before I get word in, Delia stomped down to that door. I could faintly hear her hair thundering behind her. A signal that she's extremely ticked off by the inconvenience of the whole situation. Oh, that's why her hair looks like electricity, because her cork is electricity. Oh, I think she actually said it last time. Brain fart. I really didn't mean to annoy her, but it wasn't my fault. The 40s followed protocol. I sighed heavily and rubbed my eyes. I should probably get going to the police station before they show up to the door, stepping Delilah threw a fit again. So much for taking a nap. So after a proper bathroom break and a quick shower, I head down to the police station. And good gods, it was exhausting. Oh, they're interrogating us now. The second I arrived to introduce myself, I was detained and put into an interrogation room. Does it say fine? Even though I was told I was under arrest, it was starting to feel like that. Yeah. Just let me talk in person. It sounds like you're thinking I'm a criminal. I'll say it wasn't the welcome I was expecting, but I couldn't be that surprised after what happened to the mayor's brother. The paranoia in town spiked dramatically. Everyone in this town was superstitious. I thought the house listing was exaggerating, but no, everyone from the school kids to the delivery driver warned me about the mountains and the horrors that reside there. When I walked past the school, kids would stop and tell me to watch out for the night demon in the mountains. Yeah, I want to go back to see the mountain demon. The delivery driver brings the rest of my things into the house. Told me to be careful because of the creepy mountains far from the town. Heck, the first week of moving in, my elderly neighbors gave me a few dream matchers to trap the demon if it invaded my dreams. I don't want to, though. He's my friend. I brushed off at the time, but I didn't gasp that so many people thought something actually existed up there. And someone did exist, but it wasn't a monster. I was questioned for a long time about what happened on the mountain and how I got back out of nowhere. Also, I lied about Orion, so they didn't throw me in an underground bunker full of crosses and just told me one moment I was knocked out of the mountain, one moment and home the next, with no recognition of events. Which was technically true if you squint at it long enough. It was taking out a whole bunch of parts. But in all honesty, what the police told me to do next was the most absurd thing I experienced all day. I was literally teleported home by a moon shadow person. And I was teleported by a moon shadow person. I stepped out to the police car, my backpack hanging by one strap of my shoulder, and sighed heavily as I look up at the church. Of course, they told us to go to church. Nope, I'm going to go back to the demon. I'm going to our next swing. Moondrop. Next swing. Yeah, they told me to go here and get purified. Since I told them I couldn't remember anything, I was cursed until proven otherwise, and I needed the curse to be expelled from my soul. Regardless of how I felt about religion, I felt like this was insane. All I did was go to the mountain for a day, and I didn't even feel weird anymore. Orion got all the magic out of my body. I saw him do it right in front of me. I knew the people here were paranoid, but in all honesty, that was overkill. But trying to protest proved not futile. So, as they said, they had called in someone special yesterday to do the purifying, and they couldn't dare to waste their time. As weird as I found it, they planned this in advance and such. I just wanted to go home. It was either do this for maybe 30 minutes, or wait in jail cell until the priest and his congregation got back from their vacation to the Republic, which wasn't for several weeks. Yeah, I'll choose this. I roll my eyes and groan. Hopefully, this would be way sooner than later. I walked into the church, shielding my eyes from the sunlight. I remember coming here a few times to volunteer and assist the priest in helping the local kids with studying. I don't know why, but I felt a lot more bright than normal. I knew the church had a lot of windows, but it was actually hurt my eyes a little. Maybe spending so much time in the cave really did mess up my eyesight. Well, the police officer said that the person sent to purify me would be waiting in the church, but from what I could see, the place was deserted. Hello, anyone here? I call out into the room to see if anyone could answer. Nothing. I was told to come here to get purified from the mountain thing. I walk for the pews, fruitlessly trying to find someone, but it wasn't so bright that I was blind. I could clearly see that no one was here. I grumble in annoyance. Well, now? What was I supposed to do? The police were going to wait outside until I came back all healed, and who knows what proof they were trying to ask for. Well, just walk in, they were out after 30 minutes as they were purified. I supposed to be here for purification. The police told me to come here. They're waiting for me outside. I kept yelling, but got no response. I must have screamed for the least for 20 minutes, but instead of getting an answer, all I got was a sore throat. I huffed heartily and rubbed my hands over my face. Come on, what the heck was this? An attempt at a stupid joke? If so, it wasn't funny. I could seriously be expected to stay here until whatever was supposed to purify me came in. Right? Who knows when that would be? I didn't believe this right now. I can't believe this right now. I just wanted to take a nap, darn it. I was gonna take a nap in the seats. Maybe I could sneak out the window or something. God, what a huge waste of time. I didn't mind this town being superstitious at first. But I can't. Okay. Seriously be expected to. Welcome, lost soul. My mind instantly stopped, rummaging nonsense as I hear the voice. I looked around the church, trying to find the source, but there was nobody there. Who's there? I'm up here, lost one. It didn't occur to me to look up. An angel? And when I did, my jaws dropped in astonishment. The voice I heard was hearing that came from above belonged to him. long golden hair, and a neatly plaited flower behind him. As the cloak flapped underneath him, golden sparks moving up and moving in out of the fabric. A bright golden staff was held in one of his hands as the other was reaching towards me. The trail of a bird gently moved underneath him, two large feathers falling along with it. But what shocked me the most was his wings, bright wings of golden flap, solely to carry him from the ceiling. Leftover feathers fall to the floor as he flapped, but he didn't even seem to mind. I tried to look in his eyes, but they remained closed, and looked up even further to sparkling halo made me gasp. I finally realized what was in front of me. You're an Evering. Pieces of sunlight brought to life with sunstone. They were dutiful servants to the light, and their creators, the Saurian, protecting the world from evil forces, darkness, and with their holy powers. I mean, he might attack our friend. He might attack Orion. No wonder the police told me they couldn't waste their visitor time. An actual celestial being, celestial, helping the mortals beneath them. Most religions would kill to even get a half of this happening. Yes, lost soul, I'm here. I've been blessed by the Holy Light to hold that status. His feet touched the floor, his wings and tail fluttered into his back, and his staff disappeared in a beam of light. Now he's almost looked normal, if it wasn't for the hail floating above his head, indicating what he was. His eyes remained closed, but it felt like he could see directly into my soul as he walked up to me. I could be a little scared if it wasn't so amazed. So I'm gonna take a guess and say because Orion is a Moondrop, and Moondrop is like powered with the moon. It has like moon powers, and he's a Nexling, and he's a Ephraim. Now he's Sundrop, and he's got powered by the sun. His eyes remained closed, but felt like he could see directly into my soul as he walked up to me. I would be a little scared if I wasn't so amazed. It was truly an honor to be called here by your townsfolk. I thank the light for letting me be the one alive. His face grew solemn as he seemingly looked at me more closely. But how could he do that with his eyes closed? I think it's the wee stars too, but it seems you're not blessed by the light, or as many others in the town. This is truly a shame. Wait a second. What? If you would like, I would be more than happy to show you your ways. You can express devotion to the light. It welcomes anyone and everyone, no matter who you are. It won't take up too much of your time, I promise. What do I even say to this? You're really pretty. The words had left my mouth without even thinking about it. His calm and sincere demeanor seemed to break the second the words left my mouth. His eyes pop open to reveal golden irises and sparkle sharp pupils, which were staring at me in shock. What? It just occurred to me that what I said. Instantly, I could feel my face turning red from the embarrassment. Crap. I didn't mean to. I'm so sorry. That came out of nowhere. You know his ear wings remind me of Patamon from Digimon. I didn't mean to say that. Not that I think you're ugly or anything, quite the opposite. I just I didn't mean to say that to you. Well, I did. but not to your face. Not that I think you shouldn't be told you look nice. Was my thought to words filter on vacation or something? Shut up, Lion. Avery's was also blushing deeply. His face flushed gold. He pulled out at his tight collar as he shot his shawl and kept his eyes firmly planted on the ground. Well, thank you? It was more of a question than an actual response. Gods above, why did I have to be so stupid? We stood there together in awkward silence for what felt like forever before he finally decided to make the first move. He cleared his throat, trying to gather himself up again before returning to face me, with a wide smile once more. I suppose a proper introduction is in order. You may call me Ravi. Ravi. I'm YN. Very well, nice to meet you. Now, can you tell me why exactly you're here to get cleans today? The report I was given was a bit too frazzled for me to get any information out of it. I truly don't mean to be rude, but the way it was worded seemed like the officers were overreacting just a tad. Oh, they were definitely overreacting. So why have I been summoned here? I saw the forming lump in my throat. I forgot that this might come up. I was going to have to tell him about Orion. And the thought of doing that made me feel really anxious. Something that everyone knew about the Celestials is that the two fractions absolutely despise each other. The sun and the moon sides have more fighting for millennia, if not eons. When I was a kid, I went on a field trip to the Grimius crater. That was a result of the fight between Orion and Luminide, and a single crater was bigger than the entire capital. And if I remember correctly, the Nixlings and the Earthlings hate each other as much as their creators did. So I wasn't too confident to bring up the fact that I was here because a Nixling, his sworn enemy, found me dying on the mountain. What can I do? Do I just feel time and avoid answering the questions? Do I bite the bullet and tell him not white? I would need to tell him eventually. Wyan, are you alright? Are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. What should I do? We'll see what happens if we just tell him. Just tell him. What was the point of delaying the inevitable? I couldn't just dance around the subject until he forced it out of me. It was wasting both of our times. Who knows how he reacted to me hiding what made me come here. With an anxious breath in and out, I looked back to his face and closed eyes, looking at me in concern. Okay, I'll tell you, but you need to promise you won't do anything crazy like blow up the church and vaporize me or whatever. Or the mountain. Or a friend. Ravi chuckled lightly, obviously amused by my words. I'd appreciate if I wasn't actually feeling a bit scared. Yeah, I would be scared too. I have nothing to worry about. You have nothing to worry about, Lion. I wouldn't have been sent down here if it wasn't urgent. I've been tasked to deal with urgent matters, considering a variety of different things. Trust me, I will do you no harm. Yeah, but what about Orion? His calming tone did its work. I felt myself start to relax a little underneath his words. I stopped picking at my nails and took a deep breath. Okay, I'm here because... I hesitate, the fear still deep in me, but Ravi was patient. He only nodded, indicating me to keep going. I sucked in the air through my teeth and clicked my tongue. I just had to say it, like ripping off a band-aid. I'm here because a Nixling found me. But don't worry, he was a good guy. I poured it out as fast as I could, hoping with how quickly I said it wouldn't be questioned better. But I was a horrible mistake. Ravi's smile remained as wide as ever, but the warmest expression was gone. I could faintly see his jaw make slow movements, as if he was grinding his teeth. That doesn't sound good. Are you going to get a bad end? He stood there in silence, his jaw clenched, and his smile looking more and more forced. And the more I looked at him. I stood there still while I stood, not wanting to utter a word in fear of angering him, but I started to lose track of time with how long we've been standing here. There. Maybe I should say something. He looked like me. He was barely keeping it together. I... Come again? The change was sudden. It made me flinch. Gone was the calm tone and warm smile from before. A sharp glare of rage and a curl whip took its place. His anger was barely being concealed as he tried to keep his composure. I could actively see his hands start to physically shake from how mad he was getting. Uh-oh. Crap. I need to say something before he blew a gasket. I did see an X-Wing. I did talk with them, but they didn't hurt me. I promise I'm perfectly fine. Just look at me. No shadow scars or slash marks on me at all. I promise I'm fine. Trust me. I think you'll recognize it if I was actually in some sort of danger, right? You have to be a master at that stuff. That barely seemed to get through to him. His sneer was gradually getting more and more tense. I swore I could hear a faint crack in his jaw. Then I noticed a trail of gold leak out of his mouth. Did he just bite himself? What was... Wait a second. Ravi, I think you're breathing. He didn't even seem to hear me. Despite that, I reached into my side pocket and pulled out a handkerchief, packed in case I needed to blow my nose. I slowly step up to him, close to him, and my toes, and start to wipe away the blood trailing down his mouth. I had to stand on the tips of my feet, since he was so much taller than me. That certainly seemed to get his attention as he stopped his teeth grinding and stared down at me in shock. What are you doing? I rolled my eyes and scoffed a little. Cleaning up your blood, obviously. How badly were you grinding your teeth? Do you know how dangerous that is? Ravi just looked at me in disbelief, not knowing what to say. My throat felt unnaturally dry as I tried to get all the blood off. I know you're a demigod or whatever, but there's no excuse to hurt yourself like that willy-nilly, especially over something that so trivial. His expression finally changed at that, almost morphing into what could be described as anger. But it's not trivial. You were hurt by a Nixling. Actually, I was saved by a Nixling. And I told you I'm fine. You have sent something off if I wasn't, right? Ravi was clearly trying to stay angry, but he failed miserably. His eyes were sober as he went outside. Yes, I would have. So there's nothing to purify, right? Ravi was silent for a few moments, but before nodding in what felt like in defeat. Satisfied, I finished cleaning up the rest of the blood from his mouth and finally backing away. Without the blood dripping from his mouth, his face went back to normal serene look, but it felt more sad than before. I apologize for scaring you, Orion. I truly didn't mean to cause you any distress. It's just... His tone of voice was so harsh, I thought his throat would go hoarse from how tense he spoke. Thinking about those things make me sick. But it's not a thing. I could only stay silent at that if I thought the townsfolk saying Nixlings. Then Ravi must have felt something stronger because I had never heard someone talk about the air with such contentment in their life. I knew two fractions hated each other, but Ravi looked like he was about to crack in their tooth from how angry he looked. All I could think about was how wrong he and everyone else was about them, especially Orion. Ravi took a shaky breath before looking back at me. Even though I can't sense anything, I need to know if the Nixon left anything with you, a keepsake or knick-knack of some kind. The weight of the coin in my pocket suddenly felt a lot heavier. I saw the dryness of my throat and looked away from his gaze. Why does that matter exactly? If he did leave something with you, then I need to see if it's something dangerous. If it is, I need to destroy it for your own safety. No. I'm keeping it. I scratched my palms nervously. Well, that made sense. His previous reaction was hearing what happened to me wasn't that great. How would he react to seeing a physical spell cast by Orion? Say, I did have something. How do you know you won't just destroy it regardless? I promise, as long as it holds no threat to you or anyone in town, then I'll allow you to keep it. Really? Really, I promise you. If it's truly worth its junk, then there's nothing for you or your talented authorities to be upset with, right? It's a contact him if I need any help. It made more sense the more I thought over. Maybe I could play off as just a weird coin he enchanted to look pretty, and he wouldn't look into it any further. I debated not showing it to him, but I felt like I driven myself a little too late, so hiding was no option. Okay, well, he did give me something, which was just a dumb coin he had laying around. I pulled it out of my pocket and shakily handed it to Ravi. To examine, he churned the coin over a few more times in his hands, trying to feel any insecurities with it. He just made it sparkle to look nice, a souvenir for keeping him company, you know? Yes, I do. He stared at the coin for several moments, and for a second, I could have sworn I saw his eyes flash cold, but it went by quickly. I'm more than sure I imagined it. Especially after what felt like forever, he gingerly handed the coin back to me. I swiftly shoved it back into my pocket and looked back at Ravi with an uncomfortable smile. I can't find anything wrong with the coin. Lucky for both of us, no curses or hexes of any kind. Just a spell. That's good. That's very good. Glad to be curse-free. Does that mean I can go now? Ravi looked at me carefully, and even with his eyes closed, I felt like he was examining me like one would do with a bug under their microscope. I felt a bead of sweat streaming down my face as I tried my best to make eye contact. I think it would be best if I first said a quick prayer and accompany you home. Really? I think I could accompany myself home. I just groaned. Was that seriously necessary? Okay, his term motif, color-wise, this reminds me of Patamon. In a good way. I love Patamon. What? I thought you said I was curse-free. You are, but the sake of the townsfolk, I think it would be best if I did something rather than nothing. It would be fast, and all you need to do is stand there. I shall do all the work. You could do nothing and to stay we got brushed. Besides, my superiors want me to come back with definite results from the trip, and if I told them I did nothing but wish someone well after their interaction with the Nixling, I'll be in a lot of trouble. I don't want that at all. Darn it, I was hit right where it hurt. Need to do something for your boss when it really wasn't necessary. I was thrown back to the countless numbers of times Ronnie forced me to input my ID card into the scanner so leave town, give me a ticked off look as he did so. as he did, too. Didn't want to keep doing this over and over. I groaned in expiration and rubbed my eyes. Despite his attitude towards the X-Wings, I didn't want him getting rebrided by whoever he answered to just because the one person he was sent to help didn't want to do a single prayer. I wasn't about to be that guy. And besides, did I really want to drive along with those stuffy cops who were treating me like a living nuke the entire time we came over here? They're probably already gone. They're probably going with trying to get their donuts. Honestly, no, I didn't. Well, fine, one player, but that's it. Very well, Ryan. Don't worry. I shall be swift. Just remain still. I did so. I did as I was told, and stood as still as I could. Ravi gently held my shoulder and put 2 fingers in my forehead. He closed his eyes slightly scrunched in concentration. Concentration. May the holy light watch over you. The center of my forehead went warm as a patch of sunlight had decided to rest there for the day. Satisfied, Ravi stepped away. His bright smile was back to his face. Now, tell me, Ryan, do you feel like a radiant light has blessed you just this once? I didn't even have to think about my answer. Yes, I do. I think he's doing something on purpose, too. Excellent. I confusingly felt the front of my forehead. The warm patch had faded away as it was never there. Weirdly enough, my eyes also felt a little dry out of nowhere. I don't really feel any different. Don't worry about it. You're not supposed to. It was only a simple prayer. To be given a prayer by an offering. Some of the old church ladies I knew would have ripped their legs off for a chance like that. Now, shall I walk you home? I went to say yes, but hesitated. I knew his old thing was being a good servant of the light and all, but I didn't exactly want to lead this guy to my house. I want to leave Orion to our house. His reaction is just saying the word Nightwing seriously put me off. If I was going to use the coin to summon Orion, I didn't want him anywhere near it. But I couldn't just take him on a wild goose chase around town. He'll be confused at best and suspicious at worst. Where could I go? Then I remember where I wanted to go before heading off to sleep at Ryan's place. How do you feel about the library? Ravi was initially confused at first, but eventually walked me to the library as I asked. The police had no problems with it, thankfully. As we hid there, I could practically feel the eyes staring at me on my skin with how hard people were looking. Having a little angel walking around town would do that. Thankfully, people had a sense to leave us alone. Or maybe they were too scared to approach him, since most people here were pretty suspicious about sustrans in general. The desk clerk was too busy gapping out Ravi to even bother checking us in, which I was personally grateful for. We walked through some book aisles together before I looked back at the angel, who seemed to be looking round the place. Well, here we are, the library, right where I wanted to be. Yesterday. Or the other day. Yes, it is. His confirmation of my words was nice, but I still stood there awkwardly. I felt my grin start to waver as I scratched my sleeves. So, can you go now? Oh! He actually looked a little surprised, as if he forgot he was just escorting me here. Right, this is definitely where we part our ways. However, I would like to see more of this library. Crap, was he going to be watching me the whole time? Yes, he is. Wait, you would, why? Why, yes, I'm here I've never been to a library so small. It's very quiet. The libraries back home are big and grand. I'd like to see what this place has to offer. I'm sure there's a few books in Braille that I could find. Wait, I thought I could see. Kind of, it's like Braille is for when you're blind. That was an unexpected answer, but I'd gladly take over him following me. At least you find out. I'm trying to search. Well, who am I to deny Fancy Pants his chance to see humble tan life? And you'll be fine. And you'll be fine if I left without you, right? Of course I would. Mary wants to see what your town has to offer, consider our final stage for the day. I have a feeling that this is going to be our final exchange. He's going to stalk us. The way he said it, so formal, I couldn't help but giggle at it. It was oddly cute in a way. No need to be formal about it, Ravi. Just say, see you later, as casual people down below say all the time. Oh, alright. See you later? It was such simple words, but the way he said it, as if he was figuring out what words were the first time, made me burst into a fit of giggles. Ravi seemed a bit surprised at my reaction, slightly tilting his head in confusion. What's so humorous? Nothing, it's just the way you said it was really funny. It's kind of cute. Ravi's face flushed a tad, and I giggled again at his own reaction, which just made him blush even more. I'm glad my attempt at your slaying is bringing you joy. It most certainly is. Keep practicing with that, and you'll be fine, Ravi. Trust me. Very well. I shall see you later then, YN. Ravi's gave me one more happy smile before disappearing into the rows of books. If it wasn't for his hail giving him away, I would have known he was here. But now he was gone. It was time to do what I wanted to do in the first place. Amelia rushed over to the celestial section of the library. Honestly, this part of the building creeped me out a lot. There were spiders crawling all over the barren shelves, and I swear the lights made the part look creepy on purpose. There was hardly any books on the shelves, since nobody knew enough about the celestials to publish definite books on them. The books sat there, mostly collecting dust, as somebody wanted to read the books if they couldn't help it. Except for me, of course. I had read and reread the library's current selection on the celestials a few dozen times already, so I knew nothing in those pages would help me. Thankfully, a new shipment of books had come in, if the box on the ground was anything to go by, and some of them had to be about celestials. I didn't know how many there would be, was certainly a good place to start. I knelt down at the floor and tore open the sealed box. For my nails, new fresh books lay inside. A small smell of the new paper filling me with delight. Alright, let me see what we've got here. I grabbed a book out of the box, expecting it to be a graphic novel exaggerating the mysteries of luminoids, or a science book trying to explain how ancestral magic tied with the element of science. But that wasn't what I found at all. What is it? 100 Ways to Cook a God. Oh, it's a reference! I love it, it's a reference. To eat a god. I could officially pull out a book called 101 Ways to Cook a God. It seemed to be a romance novel, which was fine, but not exactly what I was looking for. Any more references? I would place it down beside me and took out another one. The perfect one for me. Okay, I know it's a reference, but my brain's going. The next one was called The Perfect One for Me, another romance novel. Still, not why I was looking for the box. Still not why I was looking for the box. I put that one down and pull out another one. My strong life of my digital boyfriend. I love the references. This is all Yandere Yandere fiction. I did pull out a book called My Strange Life of My Digital Boyfriend. Yeah, another romance novel. How many of these were romance books? A lot of references to yanderes. I pulled out another book, trying to find something related to the specials, but nothing. It was just romance book after romance book, all the way through. I just stared at the pile around me in confusion, disbelief. Well, if we get all these with, at least learn about yanderes. There was seriously a mix-up between different books. How was there even possible? Did I have to go into the romance section and find that the specials books are over there? Why was the books full of so many mystery romance books put back here anyway? I kept rummaging for the box, waiting to find something that would make this something even more sick joke played out on me by the universe. This couldn't actually be happening, right? I actually can't believe this right now. I stopped when I felt something hard graze my fingertips. Not a hardcover of a book. It felt like a stone. No, it felt metallic. I wrapped my fingers around the object and pulled it out of the very bottom of the box, hidden underneath various romance books and manga. My eyes widen when I look at the book in front of me. What I felt seemed to be a piece of metal carved into the shape of a crescent moon, a purple gemstone in the crevice. Enchanted swirls with stars trimmed the edges of the book, and the cover featured a black void dotted with constellations, a bookmark with the moon-shaped pattern peeked from behind the cover. If I squinted, I could swear I saw the pages glowing. Everything clicked, and it became very clear why it was hidden all the way back here, with even more books hiding underneath it. The book just radiated magic, not just any magic, luminoid magic, magic of the celestials. An honest-to-God's magical book created by them was here in the library, and I was holding it right now. Questions flooded my mind. How did this get here? Who brought it here? Who looked at it and thought it should end up in the random town's library and not in a science lab or in an art chest, the luminoid treasury? There was no doubt about it. I had to show this to Orion. He needed to see what this was. Maybe it could help him gain control over the abyss. I itched to open the book and get a peek at what's inside. I didn't expect to be able to actually understand what was written down, but it wouldn't hurt to check, right? My fingers inching towards the cover stopped when I heard a thud and clatter nearby. Oh no, I should clean this up. I heard him start to pick up books and place them back on their shelves. I almost forgot he was here. I looked down at the book with more anxiety than before. I couldn't let him see this. He might favorize it the second he lays eyes on it. And I had to get this to Ryan. I should get this out of here before I'm caught. But I really wanted to see just a little more of what it had to offer. Who knows what it could tell me? Wonder what happens if we take a quick peek at the pages. If I was really quick about it, I'm sure I would flip through the pages and get a glimpse of something interesting. I opened the book up a random page, as I expected the words were unreadable to me. I could only describe what I saw as moon gibberish, and I scanned the page. There was a lot I could discern from the text, and the diagram next to it was even less helpful. It was only a simple image of what looked like an eclipse and souls surrounding it. Without being able to read the text, I had no idea what it actually meant. Maybe one minds had a ritual concerning their souls during particular eclipse. These always became intense around the world whenever those happened because of the celestial ties to their respective gods, the sun and the moon. It kind of looked like the moon was covering up the sun. Perhaps it was a ritual to control one's soul when they went out of whack during the solar eclipse. Luminoids were alleged to have a massive power boost when that happened. Unless this reading the completely wrong, it was the other way around. In which case, maybe it was instructions to how to avoid the light of the sun when a lunar eclipse happened. God, I couldn't tell. Maybe Orion would know. Ryan! The sound of Ravi's usual calm tone, hyperactive excitement made me jump, but also intrigued. I wonder what he's up to. I quickly shoved the book in my backpack before standing up, just in time to see him walk up to me happily and with a book in his hands. You wouldn't believe it, but there are cookbooks here in Braille, and I managed to find one that I wanted. It was a little surprising, but welcoming to see him so full of excitement. I never saw someone be so happy over something so small, and seeing his serene face in a now wide grin made my heart flutter with joy. Wow, really? A cookbook? Yes, I can't wait to read it. I thought someone of your status would have a lot of maids and servants around to do that for you. Ravi's happy grin melted into a sheepish one before he let out a hesitant chuckle. Well, I do, but I like to cook on my free time as well. There's 2 yanderes that like to cook here. Wow, I was joking about that, but his anxious expression made me raise my eyebrows in wonder. Darn, I wish I had servants like that. Do you know how much time I could spend on my blog if I didn't have to do laundry or dishes? I'm going to swim a lot. Yeah, quite a lot. Ravi chuckled at my expression, like it seemed more playful than condescending. Now that he was right in front of me, the weight of the book in my bag felt 8 dozen times heavier. I could probably get out of here before he knows something was off. Did you find what you were looking for here? No, not really, which sucks. It certainly does. I'm very sorry. Don't sweat it, Rav. It's no big deal. Despite my reassurance, Ravi looked a lot more upset about it than I did. I didn't know why. It was just a book I definitely wasn't stealing right now. Oh, he's definitely stealing it. I'm going to head home now, alright? Hopefully, I'll see you later. I only half meant it. I wouldn't mind seeing him again if the book was as far away from him as possible. I hope to see you later as well, Lion. I gave him a small smile of goodbye as I left the small corner and hid out of the library. Stepping out of the library, I let a huge sigh of relief, blinking my eyes rapidly to try to get some moisture back in them. I didn't realize that just walking out of the library could be so stressful. Whatever, now I could... My train of thought stopped when I heard the strange noise. What was that? A crow. The eyes. Is that, Orion? A strange-looking crow was on the roof of the library, looking down at me with beady eyes. Weird. We didn't usually get a lot of crows around this parts. I'm gonna say the eye color. I only gave a small head gesture to acknowledgement before preparing to walk down this road. Now with a distance between me and Ravi, I could hopefully get some answers. It was early morning in the day when I got home. Delia was napping, so I could read the book in peace. Despite my little peek back at the library, I wanted to see if I could discern any more information from the pages. I kept looking at it as I leapt against the bedsheets. The cover itself was so beautiful. I wonder what kind of metal and gems were used on it. Sure, I couldn't read the text. It was mostly nonsense, but I had the internet. Maybe there were some translations out there. So I flipped the book open to the first page and got to reading. I read through the book all day, and I was exhausted by the end of it. Reading was supposed to be relaxing, but constantly looking up whatever it was that I was looking at got old 10 times in. But it was a weekend, and I had nothing better to do, so I kept reading. Shockingly, the internet couldn't help me with most of the things I googled, like a piece of lost media. Everything I searched was either nowhere to be seen or was merely speculated about on where you could find it. The world's limited knowledge of the Ancestrals was a seriously deterrent to my attempt to research. I knew these guys' whole thing was being secretive for the sake of the planet, but they couldn't talk to at least one scientist and tell them what was up. That defeats the point of secretness. I barely understood what the diagrams in the book were trying to say. I could only hope that Ryan knew what any of this world mean. Speak of Orion, I wanted to get to him as soon as possible. Now that I was away from Ravi, I think I could use the coin safely. But I couldn't use it here. I didn't know what it would look like when he was summoned. I did not want Delia to either yell at me for a possible crater in her house or run away at the sight of an X-Wing. I needed to do this somewhere more discreet, but where? Come on, Ryan, think. Wait, I got it. I leapt out of the bed and quickly pushed on my shoes before stuffing my phone and the book in my backpack. I knew exactly where I was going to go. And, Madura town population 4,258. What? Quickly? Okay, honestly, I sound a lot cooler in my head, but there was nothing cool about the old billboard on the edge of town. Okay, the town looks more like a city on the back. And then... that's definitely not a town. That looks more like a city. The only cool thing about it was now that the crow was from earlier decided to roost there. All it really did was give the name of the town and provide me a good place to single Orion. If there was any collateral damage from getting his attention, it would be against the billboard and the patches of dry grass. Not anybody actually living here. Getting here was thankfully pretty easy. I haven't seen Ravi all day, and with the sun going down, I could only assume he was going to sleep to avoid the moonlight. I should ask him what he does the next time I saw him. Hopefully without Orion present. Or with Brian present. Say, this is my boyfriend. I reached into my pocket and looked at the coin once again. It still remained cold as ever, despite so much time against my body. The magic of the Celestials will never cease to amaze me. If I remembered Ryan's earlier words, I just had to flip it in the air, and it would single him to come. I didn't exactly know what the single would entail, but he said it would get his attention, right? I let out breath. I didn't realize I was holding and wipe out my forehead. I didn't know why I felt so nervous. I didn't really have a reason to. Other than that fact that this might literally blow up in my face, but I'm pretty sure Ryan would have told me if it would. Right? Well, he wasn't going to summon himself. With a final deep breath, I flipped the coin, while aiming in the air. The coin burst into a flurry of sparkles. When it made its arch, I watched it in amazement as the sparkles suddenly fell all around me. Okay, silent treatment now on the phone because I don't like the beep. The coin burst into a fury of sparkles when it made its arch. While I watched in amazement as sparkles slowly fell all around me. I reached out to touch one of them before they all disappear. When they were gone, everything was silent. I waited patiently for something else to happen, but nothing. I just stood there while trying to ignore the crawling of the crow behind me. What's supposed to happen? Was the spell dead? I had no idea what I was supposed to expect here. Did it give me a fireworks spell instead of something? I didn't want to think I was given a nothing burger, but honestly, Ryan? See, I gasped when I heard my name from its voice. It wasn't done. I rolled around to see Ryan standing from the shadows, quickly shaking some of them off like it was annoying bits of sand. Ryan, you came! The crow was away to him, though. I ran over to him with a smile on my face, but I quickly disappeared, seeing the look of his face. He looked really worried, almost scared. Is everything okay? Is there something wrong? He sounded so panicked, but why? Nothing that crazy happened today. Unless he could somehow smell the prayer Ravi did earlier, but that seemed a little far-fetched, even for a Nightling. Don't worry, Ryan. I'm fine. Today was pretty good, actually. It was? I mean, that's good and all. I'm not saying it. It's not. I just felt like something was wrong. I could sense it. Trust me, Ryan. There's absolutely nothing to worry about. Ori? There's nothing... trust me, Ori. There's nothing to worry about. Ori? The nickname slipped out without me thinking about it. I didn't see it as a big deal. Yeah, friends give each other nicknames, don't they? And I bet you'll do the same thing when I show you what I've got for you. I started to wiggle with my backpack while Ryan looked around the patchy dirt field anxiously. Well, Ryan, I don't know what exactly you have to show me, but I need to tell you that... His voice died in his throat. When he saw that I was pulling out of my bag, he didn't keep his eyes off the book the whole time I was holding it. I sort of could see his eyes actually start to brighten from how shocked he was. His next words were choked out, as he couldn't believe he was seeing, which was a fair reaction. What is that? Surprise! I'm pretty sure it's a spellbook of some kind made by Illuminites I found it at the library. You really got this for me? Of course I did. I didn't expect to find something so incredible, but I didn't want it to go to waste collecting dust in the back of the shelves. Or worse, burned, or even worse, sent off to a science lab to be examined and then burned. So I figured I'll just nab it and give it to you. It's not like anyone was going to miss it. Ryan only remained silent as I gently handed the book over to him. From the way he was holding it, you'd think he was holding an actual bomb. His eyes remained wide, and it looked like he stopped breathing from the shock. I was happy for him, but honestly I was getting a little worried. But since Womanoids literally lived in the moon, I didn't know if I should be worried or not. Maybe he didn't need to breathe at all. Oh, Ori, are you okay? Still, he didn't respond. I could feel his happy grin start to slip from my face when he finally spoke up. This is more than just a spellbook. It's a piece of Womanoid culture. The moon herself blessed these pages. I could feel it. Okay, he's talking now. More importantly, breathing. That's good. That was good. That's awesome. Maybe you can learn how to control the bits with it. It's not just the bits. This holds an ocean of untapped potential for me if I learn how to use it properly. He looked back at me with wide eyes, his pupils dilating. I could learn about what I am and more. This is the best thing anyone has ever given me in my lifetime. Ryan dropped the book and took a step towards me, grabbing one of my one of my hands with both of his. He was a little taken back. I was a little taken back. My surprise went away when I saw the smile on his face. Oh, Stardust, I can't thank you enough for this. I don't know how I could ever pay you. I matched his grin happily, seeing the normally anxious attitude he replaced with an expression of delight and pure joy. Warmed my heart. You don't have to pay me back, right? Or you're my friend. You're my friend. This is what friends... My words died when I heard the noise. I stared at the thing protruding from his stomach, with slowly widening eyes, Ryan doing the same. My face froze in shock as I looked at him. His happy face slowly turned to what felt less like pain and more outrage as he watched purple blood spurt from his chest. Okay, that's our other Yandere. Okay, I'm gonna go his face on him. I can only watch in stunned face as he grabbed the thing drawing out of his chest and easily snapped in two with his fist. Now that he was holding it, I could see what it was, and my breathing stopped. It was a golden arrow, currently made of light. Orion? It started to display in his hands as he looked back at me. Orion, listen to me. You need to... But I didn't get to hear what he said, as a beam of golden light came out of nowhere and blasted him from across the grass. Orion? Screaming proved useless, as he was obviously too far for him to hear me now. I wanted to ask what was going on, where that came from, but I didn't need to be a genius to figure out what just happened. I'm so sorry, Ryan. Pulls out a knife. Okay, no, not Ghostface. I'm gonna go Sam and Dean on him. The calm and serene tone startled me as I saw Ravi appeared out of nowhere beside me. I could see his eyes glowing beneath his eyes, obviously from blasting such an attack. Ravi, what did you do? What I had to do in order to find this demon. Apologize for putting a tracker on you. It should be gone now, but it was the only option I had. Okay, I'm gonna go stabby with Anya. If on cue, my eyes started to water, and I probably blinked to get them moisturized. The prayer, of course. No wonder my eyes have been feeling dry all day. You used your powers to track me. Just to find Orion. How could you? He's done nothing wrong. I'm sorry for using you, but you must understand I cannot let this demon plague you or this land any further. I just stare at him in disbelief while trying to ignore the tears bringing up in my eyes. The pure carelessness in his voice was painful to listen to. How can you just say that about someone who did nothing wrong to anybody? He didn't even hurt me, you know it. Just because he didn't now doesn't mean he won't later. I won't allow one of them to bring any harm to you. How could someone so holy say such cruel things? Being sworn enemies didn't mean he had to harm anyone who did nothing wrong, right? He didn't even seem to focus on me, only trying to look at where he blasted Orion. It's like, I'm going Saladin on you. I can't believe you right now, Ravi. How could you? Stay back, Ryan. No, I'm fighting you myself. As if I'm doing anything you. No, I mean it. Stay behind me. He seemed more panicked than before. I wanted to just roll my eyes, but when I glanced at what he was looking at, I could feel my face drain of color. Oh, he is ticked off. A giant mass of shadows covered in eyes and tentacles was looking back at me. The sky and earth was surrounded in so many shadows I could barely see it from me. My eyes were glaring, and the tentacles were whittling anger, and the one controlling them surrounded them even more energy. I knew it, an earthling and disgusting waste of a star. I'm stuff out the light of yours if it's the last thing I do. A blast of blue energy hurled towards us, and Ravi just barely managed to shove me out of the way before getting blasted with it himself. Ugh. He pushed me. His push was clearly enchanted with magic. As I felt spiraling towards the glass and landing right next to the billboard, I struggled to get my bearings as I hear the crowd crawling louder than ever. My head felt dizzy from the impact. I could feel my hands were scratched up from the push. When I was finally able to look up, I only stare in shock. The two were exchanging with what could only be described as magical battle. To the death, the two were fighting so fast, and so all I could see was the light, their magic, and the impact from what they connected. The result, they threw out each other, was drowned out by the sound of my own heartbeat, pounding heart. It was amazing to see if it wasn't so terrifying. Ravi just decided to attack Orion for no reason, other than him being an X-Wing. He didn't even do anything wrong, and he was supposed to die just because his species clashed with his own. But Orion, even though he was right to defend himself, they even seemed to notice that I was right next to Ravi. The first blast could have hit us both if Ravi didn't push me out of the way. Did hurting Evering matter more than the safety of the populace? Although couldn't I ask the same of Ravi? He could have hit me with the arrow if he wasn't careful. If they were fighting in the town, would they even care about people getting hurt? Was that what the hatred between ancestrals truly looked like? I didn't realize it had gone silent until the crow's claw made me jump. I looked back at the sky in confusion. Both of them seemed to be at a standstill, breathing and panting heavily while trying to stay upright. Ravi's wings flapped, shaking in the air, and Orion's shadows were stretched far to keep him standing. I could see them coated in Cher's blood. Ravi's tailed suit spattered purple, and Orion's homely clothes stained gold. Seeing both of them look like they made each other hurt, despite what happened, the thought of these two fighting until one or both of them died was too much to think about. Maybe I could try to get their attention now that things seem to stop for a moment. Guys? I yell as loud as my voice would allow, but only Orion looked back at me with a wide-eyed expression. Ravi seemed too busy catching his breath, as if he was rusty in combat and needed a break. Stardust, you're still here? Yeah? You should be here. You need to get to safety. I know, but I need you to stop. I will stop. His attention went back to Ravi, glaring at him in disgust. As long as this pathetic light is snuffed from existence. I can only look at him in slight horror. How could someone be so kind to me before saying something so awful? Because he likes us but hates him. To be fair, he did pull an arrow to his heart, shoot with an arrow, then shove a beam of light into him. Yeah, I think he has a right to be angry but want to snuff him out. Snuffed out? Ravi's words were harsh and burnt as he glared back at Orion, his hands glowing brightly. I should be saying that about you, you horrific demon. So he blasted a ray of light at Orion, who deflected easily. Right in my direction. I gasped and ducked at an instinct, waiting for it to hit, but it never did. Hastily, I opened my eyes to see why it was not, in fact, vaporized by holy light. I would have celebrated if it wasn't for the fact Ravi and Orion's faces went from enraged to horrified. Lion! Get out of my way! The way of what? It was then I heard the creaking. I look up. The light didn't hit me, it hit the billboard. And now the huge trunk of it was heading towards me. I had to move. Wait. But I couldn't, I was frozen. The sound of Ryan and Ravi's voice didn't even hit my ears. I could only stare at the oncoming debris in horror as one final thought came to mind. I just wanted to be their friend. No, Ryan! This is all your fault, you disgusting bright light. You took her away from me. You horrendous creature, how dare you accuse me of such things when you were the one who deflected my attack? I would have done so if you didn't blast at me. I shall gladly do it again, you killer. You're the one that kept going to kill me. Technically both of you, but it was his attack, your attack. There's only one killer here, and it's not me. The two went back to fighting and completely ignoring your crushed body. Maybe if one of you was fast enough, this wouldn't have happened. But would it have been the first time there was casualties with the Celestials fought? When the Celestials fought? No, of course not. Ending 2, collateral damage. Now let's see what happens if we're fast enough. Move. Barely thinking, my legs move on their own as I jumped out of the way, landing on the ground and narrowly dodging the fallen debris. I kept scrambling back, even when it stopped falling. My body in such a frightful state, it couldn't do anything but move. The two Celestials finally stopped in their fighting to quickly rush over to me with worried expressions on their face and blood on their clothes. I panted heavily as I tried to catch my breath. Being afraid of being crushed was a great adrenaline burst, as I could hear my pounding heartbeat in my ears. I stood up on my feet and tried to ignore how hard it was shaking as I looked at the destroyed sign. Oh God, Ryan, are you alright? Are you okay? I'm so sorry, Ryan. I would have never blasted the attack if I knew you were there. Oh, so that means you use it if she wasn't there then? Of course I would. You horrendous demon, unlike your kind. I won't attack unless necessary. Well, technically you were the first to attack, so you do not get this argument. You sit down in the corner, Ravi. Well, that was just great. Knowing I was safe, just put the two of them back at each other's throats. Bold words coming from the likes of you. How did your little brainwashing sessions go? Don't you dare refer to my faith as in such a crass way. You're not even denying it. If anyone's brainwashed here, it's you, for thinking that you're anything but more than a nuisance that needs to be eradicated. And you're a bigger idiot if you think our people will just submit to your hideous flight. And the fact that you attacked first. You kept on hurling, the two kept hurling insults at her that I couldn't be bothered to keep track of. We weren't going to go anywhere if they kept on like this. Guys, the two of them didn't even seem to hear me. You'd think you and your precious creators would have taken the hint after celestial geniuses. We took the hint just fine. It was you lot who decided to keep on hurting innocents in the shadows, thinking we wouldn't notice. You know darn well that only happened because stray monsters of light kept on possessing people and absorbing their souls. Don't act like it's our fault. We both know a soulless vessel is far too gone. Maybe there weren't any. Maybe there wouldn't have been so many leftover light monsters in the starlight had done their job just right. To be fair, aren't you a creature of the light, so you should probably deal with it. Guys, don't you dare insult me like that. Besides, you have no leg to stand on when the sunbeam nearly ruined the entire thing. There's no proof of that, and you know it. Just like there's no proof of the starlight did the ritual wrong. You just want to blame the Luminoids because you can't compare the idea your precious savior is flawed. As if your kind can't compare the same. Guys? I don't know why the moon thinks you're so special to keep around. All you've done is spread lies about us and convince everyone we're evil when you commit atrocities just as bad as we have. If you didn't commit such crimes in the first place, we wouldn't need to warn everyone about you. Okay, if you did atrocities too, you definitely need to be quiet. Or call Sam and Dean on you. Don't act like you haven't proven the world right and showing how horrific and brutal you are. Oh really? I'm glad I show you just how brutal I can be. Prove me right then, you horrendous creature. Enough, both of you. I just couldn't take their brick anymore, and the way they were looking, they were just about to kill each other again, as if I was having to repeat that. As if I was gonna have a repeat of that. Can you stop arguing about old bull crap? Know what we're here for? Just listen to me for a second. That seemed to finally make them stop. I feel bad about how loud I was yelling. If I wasn't trying to hide how angry I was. A complete failing. I took a deep breath and let it out before looking back at the two Cestrals. Okay, both of you. Just let me talk for a moment. No more bickering. You know I know your whole thing is hating the other for eternity because the sun and moon divorced or something. Divorced or whatever. It's like they're having a big divorce. Someone's fight too. But look at what you did. You pointed at the now broken billboard in the distance, which seemed to be actively smoking from the light blast. You destroyed a billboard. Do you know how lucky I was to run away just before it crashed me? What if that wasn't in town and someone couldn't get out of the way in time? Neither of them had an answer of that. With sigh, I turned to Ravi. Ravi, you seem really nice, but you literally put a tracking device on me just to hurt someone who did nothing wrong to you. Now I'm gonna get the spray bottle and call Sam and Dean on you. But I don't care if Ryan's a nixling. What you did wasn't okay, and you know it. Especially when you said what you said about me. You shouldn't never say such awful things about another person. I hear Ryan let out a slight chuckle at my words, but a shift glare made him shut up. And you, don't think I'm mad at you. Don't think I'm not mad at you either, mister. You attacked Ravi without even considering the fact that I was right next to him. If you hadn't pushed me out of the way, I could have died. I'm just lucky a stray bass from your fight didn't hit me sooner. I swore I could feel a vein pop when I saw Ravi smirk beside him. Are you serious right now, Ravi? Huh? Just think, both of you. For 2 darn seconds, both of you almost killed me from that fight. You two didn't even know each other, and you just decided to attack each other out of nowhere. I don't care if you're celestials. That's not okay. We're gonna make you sit down and watch. Sit down and become friends. If you fight, what if your fight brought you to the town? Who knows how many people could have gotten hurt? Were you two seriously so focused on killing each other they forgot about the mortals that you apparently supposed to protect? I pant heavily when I finished. I didn't realize how wild up I was until I unwound my words like that. But come on, these two deserved it. That definitely seemed to strike a chord with the two of them. I let Pango from my heart. But I felt like they really needed to hear it. Oh, Stardust. I never. All three of us just stood there in silence. Orion looked away in shame, despite his eyes always being closed. I could tell Ravi did the same. It felt like ages before one of us finally spoke up. I'm sorry. I should have never put you in danger like this. I'm sorry as well. Playing a tracker on you was creepy out of line. My superiors would be severely disappointed to hear my behavior today, and for good reason. I looked over their expressions to try to find anything off, but found nothing. The two of them seemed genuinely mean it, although it felt like they were more sorry for hurting me than hurting each other. Which I could settle with, honestly. I couldn't expect them to start hugging it out like they weren't just fighting, as long as they weren't blowing each other up. I was happy. Do you hate us now? It was completely understandable if you do. The question surprised me. If it wasn't unwarranted, I was rightfully annoyed with their actions, but did that mean I hated them? I thought about my words carefully before deciding to speak. I won't say I hate you. I think I'm just ticked off and disappointed. You caused so much damage and nearly killed me, but considering everything, I think I should have seen this coming. Both of them jerk up in surprise at my words. What do you mean? I mean, I should have planned out this meeting a little better. I shouldn't have summoned Orion so close to town. I should have told Ravi what the coin actually was. I still think you two were out of line. Don't get me wrong. But maybe things would have gone a little better if I was more careful. The two faces melted into a previous silence. Any trace of anger at each other completely gone. Oh, Stardust, you didn't do anything wrong. We were the ones who were fighting. He's correct. You have no reason to blame yourself when we objectively started it. I know on a technical scale, both of them were right. Still, I couldn't help but facepalm in my head. Summoning Orion with Ravi in town? That was just so stupid. Was I asking for something bad to happen? Even though they were the ones who started fighting, I put people in danger by putting them in the same place. I shook the thought out from my head and let out another deeper breath. I couldn't let this deter me, though I had to tell them something important. Ryan, Ravi, listen to me. I took one of their hands in mine, and both their cheeks flushed deeply. Despite everything that happened, I truly mean it when I say I don't hate you. I don't like how you treat each other, but that doesn't mean I hate you. And honestly, I want to keep being your friend, both of you. Ryan's breath hitched and Ravi's eyes widened in disbelief. You do? You want to be my friend? Of course I do. Both of you are incredibly nice people when you're not actively trying to kill each other. Maybe if you could put a pause on that for a little bit, I could get to know you guys a little more. I could try to be friends with both of you, can't I? The two of them only stare at me with wide eyes and flushed cheeks as if they didn't expect this outcome. Ryan, I would love that sunshine. Now it's my turn for my face to flush, but Ryan scoffed indignantly. Of course you think that. How basic. Basic doesn't always mean bad, you know. But not being creative is just being lazy, you know? Don't you know? Guys, not now, okay? The bickering ceased at that, but the two of them still gave each other the icy glare. Oh boy, this is going to be a challenge, wasn't? I looked back at the sky to see more stars starting to peek through the clouds. My eyes bulged open in shock. Crap, I need to get back home and go to bed. I have work tomorrow. Work? Yes, completely forgot about it and all the chaos. God, I need to get home. Let me walk you home. It's getting late. I want to make sure you're home safe. As if I'm letting you be so close to Ryan for such a long time. Corvin can watch her as they walk home. Who? The sound of the crowd sounded for there, and I saw the strange bird from earlier flying back down to roast on the billboard. The crow, he owes me a few things. He can watch you get home. Please, I'm not entrusting Ryan's safety to a haunted bird. He's not haunted, and you know it. Guys, stop. Good odds. Not 2 seconds could go by without these two arguing. It was already exhausting, and it's barely been a few minutes. How did a woman in rom-coms deal with this all the time? They don't. They're secretly frustrated. How about this? Why don't we do both? Ravi could walk me home and Kevin could fly around watching us. If either of you starts doing something I think it's weird, then the other can be reasonably angry about it. As if don't blow up signage to show how mad you are, deal? The two of them mull over, glaring at the other the whole time before giving me a nod in agreement. Fine, I can deal with that. So can I. I'll just have to hope that your bird won't go pecking me for no reason. Can't promise that. I wouldn't stop him if he did. And I'll zap him out of the sky if he lays so much of a finger on me. Very funny. Can we go now? They gave each other one more stink eye before breaking the gaze. Sure, I have to go home and clean up these wounds anyway. Sun above, I do too. I'm absolutely filthy. I barely noticed with how much of the two have been fighting, but probably looking at the two of them made me realize just how much they hurt each other in the fight. Looking down, I could see gold and purple blood pulling at the patchy dirt. Will you two be okay? That's a lot of blood. The both of their faces turned into kind smiles at my concern, finally knowing how much they hate her. Don't worry about it, Stardust. I got worse energies when hunting for food. You have no need to worry about me, Sunshine. Healing is especially of Earthlings. I shall be okay. It's your specialty too. Well, if you guys say so, let's get going, shall we? Yes, let's. Let Carvin know if Bright Eyes over here does anything stupid. Stardust, I'll be there in a snap to help you. Ravi only rolled his eyes, which the crow responded by crawling at him. I could only giggle. I'll see you later, Ryan. Ryan gave me a final look of sincerity before disappearing into the shadows. Ravi let out a audible sigh of relief when he left, but instantly changed his expression upon seeing my face. Sorry. I just shrugged my shoulders and yawned. I was getting too tired to complain. Let's go, Ravi. Very well. We finally head to the town, Kevin flying above us, keeping a close eye on Ravi. People in the streets gasp in shock when seeing the bloody demigod, but a few reassurance were enough to tell people to leave us alone. Eventually, we arrived to the street with my house, and I look up at my attic window with a happy sigh before looking back at Ravi. Well, this is my stop. I suppose it is. You have a lovely home. Oh, thank you. It's not mine. A friend is just doing me a favor. Ah, I see. I'm glad to have helped you get home safely. Despite his formal speak, I could tell he was upset. While we were walking here, his eyes twitched any time Coven screeched at him, which was a lot. He told him back off. Was he really that worried about Orion would do something wrong? I hesitated for a few moments. I gently took his hand and squeezed it lightly. That seemed to bring him out of it. Ravi, look, I'm fine. You have nothing to worry about. I know you might be scared that Orion is going to do something, but trust me, he won't. He's very nice and completely harmless. Besides, if he wanted to hurt me, I feel like he would have done it way earlier, before we met you. What? Why? Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, I'm almost dying on the mountain debacle. That's a story for another time, but my point is this. Try to go to bed knowing that won't be okay, alright? I'm just wanting to be your friend and Ryan's friend. That doesn't sound so bad, right? Ravi was hesitant, but eventually he nodded slowly. I could feel his hand squeeze mine right back, his bandages soft against my skin. If you're sure, then I will be sure as well. Thank you, sunshine. I gave him a wide smile to match his own. Of course, Ravi. I hope to see you later. Me too. I gently pulled my hand out of his grasp and finally head into the house. I rubbed my face and let out a huge groan in aspiration. Honestly, today was absolutely exhausting in so many ways. How would I even start unpacking it all? Me and Earthling, summoning a Nuxing, almost getting killed by them, or somehow convincing the two of them to not rip each other apart and try to be civil so I could be their friend. Saying all that in my head made me realize how insane it was. Two mystical beings of light and shadow that hated each other were stopping their fight just to make me happy. All because I said I wanted to. God, what have I got myself into? We got two Yandere entities now. And that was Chapter 2, or Day 2, of Moondrop and Sundew. If you like my content, please subscribe if I do, help out, and comment down below. See you guys next time.